What is up, everybody? Okay, so today we're going to go through tips, tricks, everything that I threw at this image. It's called charging, and it is a odd one. It's for a competition on RenderHub, and honestly, sometimes I just need a bit of a push to get to get a piece out. I did this one in a couple of days, maybe I worked on it a couple of hours for about 3 days or something. Now, to set up a base, I always use something like Character Creator or Daz. They're amazing because you get all these humans already textured, UV unwrapped. You can pose them, you can do whatever the hell you want, and it saves you a ton of time. And the cool thing is you can always take these into ZBrush and tweak them as you want, which is amazing. So I literally just sit down and I put the poses together, the faces together. Look, man, the biggest thing to get right is get yourself a couple of good morph packs. And the best one that I use is Vinmay Morph Pack. It's amazing. And from there, get yourself the ZBrush or the Blender plugin. They're amazing. You can export them, do some quick changes, bring them in as blend shapes, things that you can't get done in something like Daz or CC. You can get them done so well, and they both have paths to ZBrush. CC's one is better because you can do high-res morphs, but this is Daz, and I'm using to see it. And that's the thing, get your pose correct. The most important thing you can do is make sure you know the kind of camera that you want to use, and then you can start posing for that shot. And this is important. I'm just going around here using what I can, and if something doesn't look right, it's not right. It's not right. That's the biggest thing about art. If it doesn't feel right, it's not right. Go back and rework it. Art's about patience, a lot of patience. And if you don't have that patience, and you're kind of in the wrong field. Over here, this is just starting with the face and getting things looking right. I liked where it was going. I just wanted to get it a little bit more. There's a lot more I would have loved to have done with this image, but the truth is, I waited way too long. Way too long, and that was silly. Usually I start quite early and I take my time and I get what I'm looking for. So this image, there is a ton I wanted to still do it to it. I wanted to put little robots in the wire, little lights in the wires, light up her face a lot better, get a lot more machinery onto her, and have like kind of machinery that you could see through her skin in some parts. I would have loved to have done that, and I may still finish the image. Never gonna do it, mate. Never gonna do it. I think we both know that I'm never gonna do it. But there we go. I started getting like the shape. I had to arste. I can't show it on YouTube. Later on I do. I just couldn't care anymore if it gets demonetized, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's not a big deal. But yeah, just have fun with it. If you're not having fun with it, it's wrong. Over here I used ZBrush to get the hair looking right, but I decided to change out the hair and change it into something better. And over here her face was just too serious, so I wanted to kind of animate it. This whole piece turned from what I was going to do, a very realistic piece, stylized realism, into something very anime, very cartoonish, and I loved the direction it was going. And Maya, here's so once you finish your pose, your the details, the main model, I brought this into Maya and obviously put it into Arnold. Now Arnold is just phenomenal. It's not like Ari, alright? And over here they've got some really cool tools to just create like wires. Very easy. You create like your curves, and you can just go in and you can do whatever the hell you want with them, and then you can model them later, change them, do whatever. They've always hooked up and they're non-destructible, which is amazing. You can always change them and change them to how you want. And over here I was just seeing how I wanted the scene to feel. Now biggest thing that I also fall into a lot is trying to add too much. At the end of the day, simplicity is key, but it's the hardest thing to get right. Simplicity in an image is so difficult. Now, this image isn't perfect by no means. It's not amazing, whatever. But spending more time on it, I think I would have got it a hell of a lot better. So I'm trying to get this whole thing where she's she's on the ground and she's getting charged. She's a robot getting charged. That's it. Okay, and when things work nicely when they charged, and they're happy when they charged. They got lots of energy. So that's what the image is. It's a robot getting charged. That's it. Now the wires were it's a difficult one because remember, when you're compositing an image, everything should lead. All elements around the image should kind of guide your eye to where you want the person to look at. So all these wires kind of lead to her face. The first thing you should look at is her face. All wires, all shapes, everything kind of leads to her face. Her arms, the wires, the legs, everything kind of swoops and leads to her face. And this is very important when you're doing an image. Your composition is the most important thing you can possibly do. Now, too many artists, they build something and then they want to see everything. They put so much work in their stuff that they make sure they want to see everything, the whole image, everything that they've done. And this is a huge mistake because your shots often lead to something worse than what they could have. What you should do is you should lay out your shot first. Where do I want my shot? What do I want to see? And then you can work and put the time and effort into those things. And for me, I didn't really care about the hands. It was mainly more about her face and the rest of her body. It would have been nice to see like a hand or two, but they're not important. It doesn't add anything. Cut out the fat of an image and always make your composition work. It needs to work. Now I tried a million things here. I tried to put ropes. Pull the rope. Margaret, pull me rope now and again, man. Nora, I don't want your face near it. Look at your face. Alright, turn around, put a bag on it. But there we go. And then once you bring this into something like Maya, now you're building your scene. Now you're in the building phase and you start putting everything together, the wires, the colors, the materials. You start building up your materials. You saw when I first rendered there what it looked like. It looked terrible. And it takes a long time to get things looking correct, but stick with it. When you start in something like Blender or Maya, it's not like Daz where everything just works right off the bat. The difference here is Daz, you're getting quick results and they're always working, but the renderer, iRay is not a great renderer. It's a cool hobby, kind of a toy renderer, and it does the job and it does beautiful imagery, sure. But when you want something extra, when you want the clarity of an image, then you go into something like Arnold or Cycles or whatever. So, yes, a renderer has a huge part to play in what you're doing, 100%. But it's also the tools to be able to do what you want. Something like these wires or building. It's always a good idea to get into Blender or Maya or one of the others. It's a good idea. Blender's a fantastic one. It's free and it does everything Maya does. And there's a plugin for everything for Blender, which is amazing. And it keeps costs really low. So in this image, it was all about the wires. I tried to keep it, everything I do, I tried to keep quite simple. A very clean background, a clean floor. What are the things that I'm concentrating on? In your subject, what is it? It's the girl and it's the wires. It's charging. That's all I really want on my scene. Oh, and she needs to be a robot. So add elements of being a robot, add the girl, who's the most important thing, and the wires. Now, where I had an issue and a problem with all this is that I kept on trying to add more and more and more, too many wires, and this gets completely, it takes the focus away from the subject, and it puts it on the wires, which you don't want. The biggest thing I can honestly tell you is like relax and enjoy the process. Just enjoy what you're doing. If you're not, you're in the wrong industry. I try to put clothes on her now and again to hide her nudity, but it didn't work, man. I just eventually left it off, and I thought, to hell with it. Just let me build my image and make a video, and maybe it helps a couple of you out there. So looking at it at this point, I was like, okay, I'm starting to get something. I'm starting to see her skin starts to look very kind of smooth and bright. And there's a rule I have in art where if things look juicy, you're on the right track. I love anything, wires, assets, things. If they look juicy, like you want to put them in your mouth. It's a rule that I have. Okay, it's for everything I do. If it looks good enough, that's when I start getting quite happy. Now the wires, these are important. Notice how all the wires are leading to her. All the wires. There's a lot that I take out in the background and stuff. Don't worry about it later, Margaret. I tried to add like a cool rib cage to her made of whatever, but it did not work. It doesn't work. A lot of things I tried here. You can see I'm trying new pipes here. I'm trying this. I'm trying that. I'm trying a million things. But honestly, 60, maybe 50, 60, 70% doesn't work. And just take it out. Don't add it because you think, here I put a massive machine behind her trying to, I don't know, but it cut out everything. And also I didn't like how crude it got. It wasn't supposed to be a crude image. There's nothing crude about it. It's a girl being charged. It's a robot being charged. It's there to lead your mind to whatever the hell you want it to. But in my mind, it wasn't anything crude. It was a robot being charged. Okay. Despite the face, she's happy. She's happy. But at the end of the day, it wasn't supposed to be this horribly crude, disgusting image or whatever. It was supposed to be just a very plain, simple, quite friendly, happy image. That's it. But yeah. Then I started adding a couple of these wires, which gave me nothing. It helped with nothing. It was just overcomplicating a scene. And this is a very important thing. Don't complicate things. Otherwise you're going to start getting married. Alright? And look at him. He got married to Margaret. And Margaret is the epitome of monster and complications. I don't know whether its face starts in its arse or if its arse starts in its face. But yeah, just be chilled. And also the colorings I was getting so wrong. And then I started the blues and I started the pinks. And this is the moment where I thought, I've got it. Okay, my color palette is blue and pink. That's it. It's a very kind of girly picture. It's a very anime kind of picture. I want to keep everything soft and bright and fluffy and juicy, and let's just go with blues. I even got rid of the oranges. I thought too much. I tried to add other colors just to see if we could give it more. Too complicated. Stick with a 2-color theme or a 3-color theme. That's all you need. And then go in all your materials and just start refining. That's the biggest process, is refining. Look, at this point it is complicated. It's a complicated image. It looks like Margaret on a Monday morning getting ready for work. Not as pretty though. Not as pretty, Margaret. Put it down, Margaret. I told you, not the front, it's from the back. Get the Coca-Cola from the back, Margaret. It's colder. So and then it's your little fine details. Now, here's where I started kit bashing. I've created and I've bought a couple of assets and things that I can kit bash with, which is great. And these are amazing to create robotics. Now remember, when you're creating robotics, there's a cool technique that you can do to create robots, cyborgs, whatever, easily. And they look better than most things you would create by handcrafting every little element. And that's mess. Mess is a beautiful thing. And over here you'll start seeing I put it together. I've created like these kind of assets, and so I know where the wires want to be. I extract and extrude a little bit of a base so it sits nicely. Put some whatevers on. Now this is simplistic. This is the simplistic base, and here's where it starts getting interesting. When you start taking cool assets, cool elements, not too many, but a handful of cool assets, and you start kit bashing them together, this is where the power lies, and a lot of fun lies building your scene. Over here you can see I've got like my renderer going. I know what's happening. I've got my shot. I know the shot that I'm going to be using, and I'm building for a shot. And here's where things start getting really powerful. Now you can just go in, you can start having fun. You've done the base work, and now it's just the fun work. Get some cool assets there. I'll put some cool little wires. These assets are wonderful. And they don't have to be perfect. You don't have to put them on perfectly. They just got to be plausible, and they got to look right. So if something's going through something and it doesn't look right, it's not right. Make sure that it's in a good place, that it's not intersecting with anything that doesn't look bad, and you're taking the time to do the rotations and stuff correctly. That's a big one. And once you start now this I started liking. I remember I put something on her back. I did not like it. I got rid of it. But this idea came to life beautifully. I wanted something sleek and sexy that you could see on the back of her. Not overly complicated. Once again, it was just a simple design. And once I got this, I loved it. I thought, great. I took it apart. There we go. Bam! It just looks so sexy. It's kind of like earrings, like piercings in her back or something, and they're coming out kind of like a spine or whatever, but way more elegant. I put these things on her fingers. I created like a couple of things. Didn't care much for them. There's a lot of things that I created that I didn't give a shit about. This as well, like the hands. I didn't put a lot of time, so I cut the hands off. Didn't need to spend lots of time on it, mate. Focus on what your shot is, alright? I added these, the cool thing is experiment with things, but once again, look at the thumb there, look in the render. If it doesn't look correct, it's not. And over here, you can start seeing, I got too many wires. What the hell am I going to do with all these wires? So I started deleting them, taking ones off, seeing what I wanted to see, and just doing a way better job on them. What wires belong there? What wires don't? Over here I was just giving her mouth a little bit more extra little bit of uppiness. I put this little thing on her nose, which I loved. I put another one, but it's too much. Just one of them on the nose was great. A little piece of machinery in the right place on her face, sold it, beautiful. And over here, scaling, kit bashing, moving, changing, and you start creating a mess of machinery, a controlled mess of machinery, and this is powerful. You can create things that look like you spent years on it, but you haven't. You've just been clever. Over here I try to make like a couple more ropes and wires just to, it wasn't working. It started looking too much like I took them out, didn't need them. And I wanted to keep things simple. I didn't want her to look like she was in pain or being strangled or having pleasure or whatever. I just wanted a simple image. Over here, I put lights on these and blew them up on her back. On that back there, you now see lights on her ribs. They're beautiful. I wanted to add a hell of a lot more lighting on her, but I just didn't have the time. I wanted to add more lights in the things on her heads, in her arm, all the robotics. I wanted these cool little lights, like I did last year. I did another robot scene, which I still probably one of my favorite images I've ever done. It's over here. Well, it's on RenderHub. I got too lazy to post it here, mate. So yeah, check it out on RenderHub. It's under my name, Splatterbaby. It's in my profile on my YouTube. You can check it out. But yeah, look at the kit bashing. Look how much fun it is. Look how simple it is. And look at what you start to get. You start to get cool things. Now over here, when I rendered the image, I didn't put that to full res, so you don't see it pulling the hair properly. I've got a Y in the front, which is like not smoothed out. There's mistakes, but the general image came out pretty cool. I hope this helps. I hope like seeing or understanding like maybe methods that could help you works. Hope it helps. Have a great weekend. Bye, guys.